No one expected that what seemed like a simple moment would instead trigger a tremendous wave of emotion among fans. Jungkook, in what appeared to be an ordinary post, slipped in a message that many interpreted as an emotional form of communication directed at Taehyung. The message wasn't delivered directly, nor did it explicitly mention a name, yet its narrative, timing, and visual cues were too strong to ignore. Is this a signal of reconciliation? Or rather an expression of long-held longing? The tension between the two is not new in the fan community. Over the past few months, the public has noted the lack of interaction between Jungkook and Taehyung, both on social media and in their individual activities. In silence, fans tried to understand the distance. So when Jungkook suddenly posted lyrics that spoke of loss, loyalty, and time that can't be turned back, reactions exploded instantly. Many believe this is a form of indirect communication aimed at someone who used to be very close to him. The message came in a very distinct format: dark visuals, melancholic music, and a short but meaningful caption. "If I could turn back time, would you still wait for me?" This sentence immediately triggered lengthy discussions among fans. Some linked it to the once-close relationship dynamics between Jungkook and Taehyung, who were often seen as the most harmonious duo. Now, that atmosphere seems fragmented, and Jungkook's words only reinforce suspicions that something personal has indeed changed. The fact that the message appeared right after Taehyung posted an old photo, in which both are seen laughing together in a relaxed moment, adds complexity to its meaning. The closeness of their posting times is perceived as a form of silent calling between them. Even though no direct words were exchanged, the public senses an emotional communication that can only be interpreted through context. This makes fans even more convinced that something is being conveyed, though it cannot yet be spoken clearly. Fan reactions are divided into several spectrums. Some respond with hope that the two are in the process of healing their relationship. Others feel sad, realizing that their interaction can now only be read through symbols and signals. Hashtags referencing their relationship immediately dominated trends, even though neither of them mentioned it explicitly. Discussion forums are filled with speculation, semiotic analysis of posts, even comparisons with past moments now believed to hold hidden meanings. Social media analysts even noted that the patterns of their posts indicate a tendency to implicitly respond to each other. Though they don't mention each other, their timing, background music, and visual style often share thematic similarities. Is this a coincidence? Or a closed form of communication understood only by the two of them? Whatever the interpretation, one thing becomes clear. Both Jungkook and Taehyung appear to still carry layers of unresolved emotion. And the public, as emotional witnesses, are picking up these signals with great intensity. Many voice their hope that the two can meet, talk, and resolve whatever distance exists between them. Amidst this uncertainty, Jungkook's message becomes a kind of silent bridge that makes many reflect. How deep is the wound that remains unresolved? What makes this moment even more interesting is the narrative built by Jungkook doesn't only point to nostalgia, but also to vulnerability. In a highly curated Korean entertainment industry, emotional acts like this are rarely seen openly. So when Jungkook chose to express it publicly, even if still within symbolic limits, it became a significant moment. He's not only showing the artist's side, but also the human side that's struggling to manage unresolved feelings. Longtime fans are now retracing various past documentations, trying to identify turning points in their relationship. Behind-the-scenes videos, concert clips, and live broadcast interactions are resurfacing. All are being re-evaluated with a new lens, hoping to find a context that may have been missed. In this process, the love and concern for both only deepens, forming a community that not only speculates, but also emotionally shares the burden they believe their idols are feeling. The question now is, will Taehyung respond to Jungkook's message? Or will this become a one-way communication left hanging? So far, Taehyung hasn't responded directly, but even that silence has become its own topic of discussion. Is he choosing his words carefully, or choosing instead to respond in his own way? Amid this enthusiasm and concern, the public is once again confronted with the reality that human relationships do not always follow a straight line. Even for two public figures once thought inseparable, empty spaces can still arise. But precisely because of that, when one of them dares to send an emotional signal, its impact becomes enormous. This article does not intend to confirm or deny any theory, but rather to note the emotional dynamics occurring in the public space and how fans are reacting to it. Jungkook may not have mentioned a name, but the narrative he built is too strong to ignore. The message has been sent, and now the world waits. Will there be an answer? If you are one of those who have followed this story from the beginning, what do you think about the signal Jungkook has shown? Is this a form of emotional bravery, or simply a personal outpouring that need not be overinterpreted? And more importantly, do you believe Taehyung will respond with equal strength? One thing is certain. The relationship once so loved by the public is now back in the spotlight, not because of empty rumors, but because of a simple message that touched many hearts. Continuing the previous discussion, we are now at a more complex point. How should the public respond to an emotional signal that goes viral, yet lacks direct confirmation from the parties involved? Jungkook's message, suspected to carry personal intent toward Taehyung, has triggered a wave of responses on social media. But we must ask, how far does this public interpretation truly reflect reality? Or are we trapped in a collective narrative shaped by desire, assumption, and media algorithms? It's important to acknowledge that this information does not come from a single official source or explicit statement. On the contrary, this narrative is built from fragments of content scattered across platforms: TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, even fan forums. Many fans offer visual analyses, compare posting times, and interpret hidden meanings from captions and song choices. But is all this enough to build a truth? Are we not trapped in confirmation bias, where only information supporting initial beliefs is considered valid? Let's consider, if someone posts an emotional quote on social media and another shares a memory from the past, does that automatically mean silent communication is occurring? Or are we, the public, especially the fan community, too quick to connect the dots due to our desire to see them remain connected? This reflection is important because in today's digital age, narratives can be formed rapidly without strong evidence. The popularity of content is often driven more by emotional appeal than factual accuracy. In this context, the question becomes sharper. Was Jungkook's emotional message truly intended for Taehyung, or are we interpreting it based on our hopes? It must be emphasized that we compiled this article based on various widely spread content on social media. However, none of these pieces can be fully factually verified. This opens up the possibility that what we believe to be an emotional moment may simply be the result of content production or even a communication strategy designed to draw public attention. Does this mean the entire narrative is just sensationalism? Or is there an emotional truth hidden beneath the limitations of public information? It's also important to question how social media shapes the way we interpret events. Within less than 24 hours of the post going viral, various theories and narratives had formed. Some even began assembling a timeline of Jungkook and Taehyung's relationship from debut to now, searching for patterns and signals in their past interactions. But is this search investigative or just a form of collective obsession that blurs reality? As viewers, you're invited not just to consume information, but to analyze it critically. Do you truly believe that Jungkook consciously sent a hidden message to Taehyung through the post? If so, based on what evidence? Or do you see another possibility, that this is simply a personal expression without a specific target, which was then overinterpreted by the public? And what if all of this is part of a larger construction, a form of narrative engineering that exploits public hope and nostalgia to maintain fan engagement? Isn't the entertainment industry, including K-pop, already well-versed in such patterns? We must admit that fan emotions are a powerful force that can shape opinion trends. But that power can also become manipulative if not accompanied by a critical stance. That's why, in dealing with issues like this, there needs to be a balance between empathy and skepticism.